Best 5 Top 4G Android Phones in 2019. 1. BlackBerry KEY2. BlackBerry KEY2 phone is a 4G support mobile. This phone display 4.5-inch touch-screen display with Corning Gorilla Glass protection and resolution 1080 by 1620 pixels. It has dual 12-megapixel plus 12-megapixel rear camera, dual LED dual-tone flash HDR, panorama and 8-megapixel front camera. This phone operating system, Android version 8.1 Oreo, CPU, powered by Qualcomm Snapdragon 660 processor with GPU, Adreno 512. BlackBerry KEY2 RAM 6GB and 64GB internal storage with supports microSD, up to 256GB. This phone battery, 3500 mAh battery with quick charge 3.0. 2. UMIDIGI A1 Pro. UMIDIGI A1 Pro phone is a best 4G phone. This phone display 5.5 full-screen display with 18:9 aspect ratio and resolution 720 by 1440 pixels. It has 13-megapixel rear camera, LED flash HDR, panorama and 5-megapixel front camera. This phone operating system, Android version 8.10 Oreo, CPU, 1.5 GHz quad-core with GPU, MT6739. UMIDIGI A1 Pro RAM 3GB and 16GB internal storage with supports microSD, up to 256GB. This phone battery, 3150 mAh, Li polymer, 3. DOOGEE BL5000. DOOGEE BL5000 phone is a latest 4G smartphones. This phone display 5.5 FHD display for visual feast and resolution 1920*1080 pixels. It has dual 13-megapixel rear cameras with dual sensors to detect blur range automatically and 8-megapixel front camera. This phone operating system, Android version 7.0 Nougat, CPU, octa-core, 1.5 GHz, quad-core, Cortex-A53 plus 1 GHz, quad-core, Cortex-A53 with GPU, Mali T860MP2. DOOGEE BL5000 RAM 4GB and 64GB internal storage with supports microSD, up to 128GB. This phone battery, 5050 mAh large battery supports long-time use. 4. Apple iPhone 6. Apple iPhone 6 phone is a smartphone 4G. This phone display, 4.7 inches, LED backlit IPS LCD. Capacitive touchscreen, 16 colors and resolution, 750 by 1334 pixels. It has 8-megapixel rear camera, dual LED dual-tone flash HDR and 1.2-megapixel front camera. This phone operating system, iOS 11.4.1, CPU, dual-core 1.4 GHz Typhoon, ARM v8 based, with GPU, PowerVG X6450, quad-core graphics. Apple iPhone 6 RAM 1GB and 128GB internal storage, no card slot. This phone battery, non-removable LiPo 1810 mAh battery, 6.9 Wh. 5. Motorola Moto G Play. Motorola Moto G Play phone is a 4G mobile. This phone display, 5.0-inch IPS LCD capacitive touchscreen and resolution, 720 by 1280 pixels. It has 8-megapixel rear camera with f2.2 aperture, LED flash and 5-megapixel front camera with f2.2 aperture. This phone operating system, Android version 6.0.1, Marshmallow. CPU, quad-core 1.2 GHz with GPU, Adreno 306. Motorola Moto G Play 2 GB RAM and 16 GB internal storage with supports microSD, up to 256 GB. This phone battery, removable 2800 mAh lithium-ion capacity.